Boom! What is up, Wanderers? We are back with another one-take bag review. I know what you're probably thinking if you're a longtime viewer on this channel. Wait a minute, I know that bag. That's the Kargo waist pack, and we've already reviewed it. That's right, we have. But we've got another bag from Kargo, and the best way to introduce that bag is to talk about this bag first. Okay, you know what we do on this channel. We do one-take bag reviews, which means we're going to dive into a really interesting bag. We're going to look at the inside, we're going to look at the outside, get into all the nooks and crannies, and then we're going to talk about two things we love about the bag, two things we think could be better, and then an overall recommendation should you buy this bag. And in this case, what is this bag? This bag is the Loculus sling bag from Kargo Gear. Boom. All right, so why are we starting with this bag? Well, if you go back and watch this review, and I encourage you to do so if you haven't already, one of the things I said about this bag, the hip pack or waist pack from Kargo Gear, was that it was absolutely an incredible bag with tons of storage options and tons of individual pockets. The organization was out of sight great. There were only two really big problems with the bag. The first one is it had a low contrast interior, meaning black on black, and the bag itself, while it excelled as a waist pack, when you wear it as a crossbody bag, it tended to do this, which is flop away from your body. And it's a little uncomfortable, and it was a little bit limiting for me because I wanted to love the bag, but it was a little floppy away from the body. Was not incredible as a crossbody sling. Well, Kargo, great bag by the way, great bag. Kargo, which is one of my absolute favorite makers, you got to check them out. Check out the link in the video description if you haven't seen this brand. They're totally amazing. So they're a brand that is made in the USA, in Colorado. They must have been listening, God bless them, because what have they done? They've made a true crossbody sling, my favorite style of bag. And it rides tight to your body, it's super comfortable, it slings the way a sling should, quick access. Y'all, they took what they had made, which was great, and then they built one that's an incredible crossbody bag. Wow. So, spoiler alert, I really like this bag. All right, let's dive in. Exterior, this is called the Loculus sling bag, which is a really cool name. I looked it up. I had to know, what does Loculus mean? Loculus is a term for subdivisions and compartments. Usually like in an organ of the human body, a plant structure, an animal structure, so like subdivisions within a larger structure. Pretty neat, because this bag is all about subdivisions, and this bag is all about compartments and, you know, storage and options. So you've got almost kind of like this pea pod shape, and then you've got subdivisions and compartments inside of it, a total of 7. We'll get into that in a second, I promise. Let's talk exterior first. Very minimal branding on all Kargo products. Check out this really tiny little tag here. It's got a little nod to Colorado, made in the USA, where this bag is made. And then you've got little, you know, low contrast stitching here, Kargo with a K. And then on the bottom, you've got multiple attachment points where you can clip things on. So that's always appreciated by my viewers, I know, and by me. On the bag itself, it's available right now in 2 colorways. I would not be shocked to see multiple new colorways in the future. It's something Kargo does. If you look up like their Cinda bag, and I'll link all my old reviews of Kargo products, but there's a lot of different colors, and they aren't afraid to play around with color. But on this bag, you've got kind of the ballistic nylon on the bottom section, 1080 ballistic Cordura, and then you've got X-Pack on the upper parts of this bag. So really good looking bag, and it comes in multicam black and black right now. You have zipper pulls everywhere. There is a zipper, and of course the zippers are high quality YKK zippers. You got a couple of other exterior things to talk about. You've got a very nice grab handle here. It's cushioned. It's not too big. It's exactly the right size for a one-hand grab. You do have a luggage pass-through right here, again with a little cargo branding. I'm not convinced that adds a ton of value, but it does, as a pass-through I mean, but it does add another grip point on the bag and another carry style for the bag. The strap itself is really robust and comfortable. It is also ambidextrous, meaning that it is very easy to move from one clip to the other to change the shoulder that you carry it on. But as with all crossbody slings, remember there's only one shoulder you can carry it on, where when you pull it around, it will be right side up the right way consistently. And I gotta say, one thing I love about this bag, not to get too far ahead, look at that. There's not a whole ton of dangle. There's not a whole ton of ridiculous overstrapping on this bag. The length of this actual shoulder harness is just about the length of the bag itself. And there's two things that are good about that. The first thing that is good is, again, less dangle. Dangle is annoying as heck. But they've also done something I think is pretty unique, which is, look at this. They've given a little place to stick the back harness into on the back. And that gives you this kind of unique bullet-shaped hand carry with no strap dangle at all. So if you are in a crowd, if you are just using this in a hotel room on your nightstand, you don't need to have cords flopping around and dangling, and the harness flopping around and dangling. You can tuck it, which is pretty neat. And additionally, and I'm not sure if they designed it this way, but this is closed on the bottom rather than open. I'm sure they designed it this way, by the way. But you can also use this as kind of a hidden pocket on the back, and you could stick a drink bottle into the back there, just knowing, of course, that then you'd be doing a hand carry, because if you put anything substantial back here, it's going to be the part that's up against your body. So you'd have some issues potentially with that pressing into you. But if you're hand carrying, you could use that as another pocket in a pinch. Also, you can use these attachment points on the bottom to clip things onto, of course, whether that is, bike reflectors, flashing lights, a jacket with a little carabiner, etc. All right, so lots to talk about on the outside, right? And a little hang pulley here. Lots going on. All good stuff, really. You got zipper pulls, and I think it's time. I think it's time for us to talk about the loculi, or the loculuses, the actual individual compartments within the whole. Let's do it. So I don't know if you remember what I said. One of the things about the Kargo hip pack that I thought could have been better was, give a high contrast interior. Bam! High contrast interior, blaze orange. So in this front compartment, which goes just about the length of the whole bag itself here, you're talking here to here. So you lose about 1.5 inches on the sides. It's got good dimension to it and stretch here, so you can see it pulls away from the bag pretty considerably. So you've got pretty good dimension here. What did I put in? I've got my blue light blocking glasses. I've got my go-to wallet. I've got my AirPods. You have a little attachment point here that you can use for a key leash. Clippy not included, so you got to bring your own Clippy to that game. I've got my Leatherman multi-tool and a Polka pin, all in this front section here. So quite a bit of room for your just quick stash items in this front pocket here. And inside here you have two stretchy black pockets. One is index card size, the other one is let's say half index card sized. All right. You got two compartments on this bag. You got the front compartment, and then you got the main compartment. All of the zipper pulls, by the way, are black paracord. They feel nice. The zipper action is really clean on the bag. Yeah, Really, really nice. All right, now we're really into it. Look at this. All right, inside this main compartment here, you got a lot going on. So first off, high contrast interior with lots of subdivided compartments. Again, thus the name Loculus. Don't believe me? Look it up. It's in the dictionary. All right, so on the back section here, you have kind of a little tech sleeve. It's padded. Now, this is not big enough for an 11-inch iPad, which is what I usually carry when I'm bringing my tablet along. This is plenty big enough for a Kindle. It's plenty big enough for an iPad mini, plenty big enough for a Nintendo Switch Lite, probably big enough for a Steam Deck. Probably. I don't have a Steam Deck, so please forgive me. What I've done is I've put in my battery backup and my Anchor battery or charger that is also a battery backup. Saved my life many times. This closes not with Velcro. It closes with this nice little kind of slip it in. What are these even called? Like, is it a bolo? What is this thing? But anyway, this is really nice. I actually like that. It's easy to use. It's not going to break. It's really simple, and it does feel tight, and it pulls the compartment shut really effectively. So I actually really, really like that. On the front of that, you have two see-through mesh compartments here, both with zippers. In the one, I've stored my flashlight, but it's actually, you can see here, pretty darn big. And then in the other, I've just got some chapstick right now, but I could, if I wanted to, even, store a battery backup in that. So there's quite a bit of space in those two see-through pockets. In the middle section, look at this. I've put my big long gimbal with the tripod attached. Fits just fine. Like, you can put a lot in this bag. It is deceptively large. So this is the Kargo waist pack earlier. The whole entire Kargo waist pack fits inside the Loculus Sling. Like, this thing should not be underestimated in terms of how much gear you can put in this and how much EDC you can put in this. A rolled up jacket, God, you could put, please don't put your shoes in here. Like, you don't want to make this bag stinky, but you could put a pair of shoes in this bag. It is pretty considerably sized. Pretty impressive. On the front section here, you've got more pockets. So these two are not see-through, but they are zippered on the left, and they have the high contrast interior on the inside here. On the left, I've got my mustache comb. I don't wake up looking this beautiful. And then on this side, I've tossed in my cords. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interior pockets along with the large cavernous interior. And then on the front, 2 more pockets. And then that's 7 interior compartments plus this bonus, harness stash point on the back. I'm going to count it as 8 plus the main compartment is 9 major storage areas on the Loculus Sling. This thing is out of sight. So let's talk about it. 2 things we love about the bag. Well, first off, this thing carries insanely well. This shape of sling, for my money, is the best shape of crossbody sling bag that exists. The Metro Runner from Green Room 136, the Chrome Cadet and Mini Cadet, and now the Loculus Sling from Kargo, all fit into this kind of, I call them sausage slings, but this bullet-shaped, tubular-shaped sling. It limits you in terms of tech. It limits you can't, this is not a laptop sling. You have to go wider for that. But man, once you start to get pretty wide, as an example, this is the Metro Monger from Green Room 136, and you can fit a tablet into this tech sleeve, and it's a great bag. But once you go that big, you're approaching the territory where, you spend a lot of your day wishing that you had just brought a backpack, because it just starts to really get heavy. So this is my favorite size and style of crossbody bag. Kargo is one of my favorite makers, and I was so hyped. You can imagine how over the top excited I was when I saw that they were making this sling bag. Boom. So what are 2 things we love? So the first thing we love is the way the bag rides, the choices they've made with, not too much dangle on the harness. This is really cushioned well on both sides. I love the way this bag sits on my body and how easy it is to swing the bag around and open and access every single compartment without removing the bag. You know, if you're on public transit, if you're walking around the city, you don't want to stop, take your bag off, throw it on the ground and open it up. You want to be wearing your sling, sling it around, get what you need, zip it back up, and then sling it back around and keep going. That's the point. And they nailed it with this bag. Like, super fun to use, super easy to use. I really enjoyed my time testing this bag and using it. So that's one thing that I really love about the bag. The second thing I really love about the bag, well, the name says it all. If you look up the name, Loculus, the interior structure and organization. And this is something Kargo does so freaking well. Like the hip pack that I showed you, the Senda bag, this bag, they do pockets really well. And if you know me, you know that that is the way to my heart. Pockets are my love language. Interior organization is my love language. This is great. This is great. But unlike some, so I'm not going to cast aspersions on a particular brand. Well, yeah, I am. So Alpaca, that's a brand that I also really, really enjoy. But sometimes they build out pockets that are there, but too small to use, too tight to fit anything practical into. These pockets all have stretch, they all have give, they all have enough space. I never found that there was a pocket on this bag that there wasn't anything practical that I could put into it. So, and there also wasn't anything that was so defined, like a pin holder, that I had to use it for that thing. So, tons of pockets, tons of organization, but more than that, all usable organization. All right, so now I've got to find two things that I think could have been better about this bag. God dang, this is hard on this one. Absolutely hard. So I'll give you the first one. The first thing I think could have been better on this bag, you can see here, I hope you can see here with the camera, see this X-Pack material, the traditional X-Pack with the X pattern on the side, here and here? It carries over into a much more kind of traditional nylon X-Pack material across the front of the bag. The first thing that I would have changed about this bag's design is that simple thing. I would have carried this X-Pack material, this kind of, you know, what people think of when they think X-Pack, across the front of the bag. I wouldn't have necessarily changed anything else about the sides of the bag. I would have gone with the same 1080D on the bottom of the bag for durability. I think I just would have changed this front panel to be the more traditional X-Pack look. For two reasons. One, I think it just looks cooler. And number two, it would reduce the kind of, I own 2 Australian Shepherds, it would reduce the kind of hair on the bag situation that I deal with a lot of my bags because I'm a pet owner, okay? God, not a deal breaker, because I mean, frankly, look at the thing. It is gorgeous, and it does look really nice, and the thing is insanely well built. Sorry, this is the part of the section where I should be talking about things I want to change about the bag. Those are not things I want to change about the bag. It is well built, though. All right, one more thing that I would have changed about the bag. Just one. I think it would have been, instead of attachment points on the bottom, I would have gone with compression straps that could double as, you know, holders. So on a lot of bags this shape, you see kind of compression straps that you can tighten the bag up. It's less about compression straps for me and more about, you know, being able to strap a jacket, an umbrella, a longer item that doesn't necessarily fit into the sling, a sweatshirt onto the bag and just tighten it up. Now, what I don't think would have been necessary would be like a full bottle holder or those kinds of situations on the bottom of the bag. And frankly, this isn't a bad solution. I just think if I was changing one other thing about the bag, it would be that kind of attach and switch out these little daisy chain attachment points for actual straps that I could strap something in. But we're here. We're here at the point of the review where I tell you whether or not you should buy this bag. If you haven't figured it out, you should buy this bag. This bag costs $110, which means that this is about the same price that you would pay, potentially a little bit cheaper than a Chrome Industries Cadet Sling. But this solves the one major issue with the Cadet Sling, which is That thing has no organization. It's got like one slip pocket on the back, and that slip pocket doesn't even have any real cushioning if you want to put an iPad mini or a Kindle or anything in there. This has the tech pocket with the cushioning, and it has a ridiculous amount of organization. It's even got some of the reflection built in if you're going to use it for cycling. Yeah, you should buy this bag. This is $100, and you will use this thing all the frickin' time. In fact, I think the only reason not to buy this bag is if you just want to wait and see if they come out with different colors. So if you're not a fan of black or multicam black, that's a problem for you because this only comes in black and multicam black. But in the future, wow, if you like, their mustard yellow color would be dope on this bag. Like an olive green with a yellow interior would be dope on this bag. You could also do like a tactical version of this bag where there's some hook and loop on the front instead of this panel. Allow us to morale patch it up a little bit. But I mean, honest to God, this thing is beautiful, right? So, all right. I hope you enjoyed this sling. You know, one of my favorite things to do is look at new sling bags, and one of my favorite things to do is to support cool makers. I get to do both in this review. Please support Kargo bags, made in the USA, made in Colorado, lifetime warranty. Great bag, great maker, cool company, and good God, this sling is so fun to wear. You'll love it, I promise. All right, everybody, check out the links in the video description. As always, thank you so much for supporting the channel, and Wanderers, we will see you next time. Bye for now.